Namaskar, Amashok Vyas, and as I welcome you to the special weekly edition of This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, there is a lot that we are going to catch up, beginning with richness. And what do I mean by richness? I'll clarify that a little later, but let me welcome Dr. Sudhir Parikh, Padma Shri Dr. Parikh. Namaste, welcome.
Namaskar, namaskar.
So, Dr. Sahab, there is one positive side which relates to the list brought out by Forbes of 400 richest people in America, and seven of them are Indian Americans. And overall, their net worth has increased around $240 billion in spite of the pandemic. What do you read in this?
Well, it increased because the stock market is doing. Stock market went up almost 30% in pandemic, and that's why everyone's asset is went up. Even not only those billionaires' asset, but even ordinary men asset went up 30%, whatever they had. So that's you can indirectly probably Trump might get credit for that.
So for layman, Doctor, we want to talk a little bit about how the market forces work because there is a lack of employment and there are many people. You see that industry is not doing well. So how market
Well,
is?
yeah. So see, underlying economy is good. Uh, Actually, basic economy underlying, except unemployment, underlying economy is good. There is nothing wrong with the banking system. There is nothing wrong with the kind of bond and other cash flow. Everything is good. Only thing is not good is employment. Now, employment, of course, it came down from months before, but still it's very high unemployment. And still we are opening up in the pandemic. But usually stock market predicts 6 months ahead. So what stock market is telling you now is that 6 months from now, the economy will be much better. And other reason why economic market is doing so well because Fed is kind of pouring a lot of money into the market, and Fed also buying the certain stocks in the market, certain derivatives of the market, and that keeps market going up and up. But if you look at the market as a whole, mainly the FANG stocks are going up. So FANG stock is stock like Amazon, Nvidia, Google, and those kind of stock. But the other real industrial stock or airline stocks, they're not going up. And but overall market is going up. So everyone's asset, not only billionaires asset, but even ordinary man's asset. If you look at your 401k or look at your account wherever you are investing, it's at least went up 25 to 30% in spite of pandemic. Because there is in pandemic, there's no, I mean, businesses are not there because people cannot come out. But once they come out, the businesses are there. As you can see, as casino opened up last week, you can see the casinos are full. Hotels are getting better. So this is all is not nothing wrong with the economy. It's only wrong with our restriction of the mobility, and that's why this is a difference.
Want to also a little bit about how President Trump has handled this challenging situation. But before that, as I mentioned, seven Indian Americans are in this list, and these are billionaires. The number one is Jay Chaudhary. I think he has Z Scalar company. Then second one is Romesh Wadhwani Symphony. So the list goes on. But what I want you to tell us is Indian American dream with which people have always found themselves attracted towards America, it remains, or because of the changing situations, there is a kind of lack of promising future for new immigrants.
Well, there is no lack of promising future of the new immigrants. Only thing is, as you can see, that all this billionaire, 7 billionaire you are describing it, most of them came as an immigrant. Okay, and because their ability, because as you know that Indian Americans, we are the smartest race in the world, uh, next to Chinese. So and we are well educated, we are very sincere, very hardworking people, and very honest people, and that's why we are reaching to certain heights and in every field. So that's why we are doing well, and we will do good. And because of pandemic, some halt in immigration, who can come or who cannot come, and a certain visa status. But that all temporary thing. As international flights opens up, you will see that everything will be back to normal.
We look forward to seeing that day, and everybody is impatiently waiting for that particular day. And I'm glad you mentioned and you have added hope in the concluding part of this remaining COVID impact. President Trump recently talked about his relationship, his friendship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and reports are telling us that there are 1.8 million Indian American eligible voters. And he suggested that because of his friendship with Prime Minister Modi, Indian Americans are going to vote for him, which is being perceived in both ways. How do you see such statement coming from President of USA?
Yes, I'm not sure that I agree with his statement like that, because I mean, the Indian Americans obviously going to again vote for a party which is good for economy, party who is good for social benefits, and party who is good for U.S.-India relation. And if you put these three things, probably Trump administration qualifies at least two out of three, and that's why probably a lot of Indian American will vote for Republican Party. But my guess is probably again it will be kind of 50-50 or so. It cannot be 100% or 80%, but it's 50-50,
So that
because
is
there are
absolutely,
some in
yeah.
American, they really like democratic philosophy, democratic agendas, and therefore and historically Indian American votes more Democrats party than Democratic Party than the Republican Party.
And then the usual criticism against President Trump for not being a gentleman in terms of his expressions. And recently also, he was a little bit rude with a journalist while he was asking this journalist to take off his mask before asking question. And he went on with the kind of expression which people do not appreciate. Uh, do you think the kind of behavior pattern which we have seen with President Trump, though that helped him win in the previous election, would be a hurdle that people have seen more of him having fired a lot of people from White House?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think this kind of thing, behavior, small behavior here and there, uh, firing some people from the White House because of the disagreement, that will not affect the election. Always, historically, take my word, everyone votes from their pocketbook. If as long as economy is doing good, if they have job, or they get some kind of supplementary help from subsidiary from the government, they may vote for current administration. It's difficult to unseat the incumbent administration unless they do disastrously bad. So the incidences what you are saying, that he spoke this and he insulted journalists, those things, those kind of behavior people don't remember on day of voting. And as you can see from the last election, he was so obnoxious. to his colleague.
Yeah.
So obnoxious to Hillary Clinton, still he won. That shows that people do not pay much attention to those kind of things. You and me do because we are kind of political junkie.
So now, what you said tells me that there are fair chances for President Trump because the way stimulation package and other help for common folks have come by from White House are being praised, and so on that count of his handling of economy due to COVID is probably going to win him some favorable voters.
Yes, yes, because see, he gave a lot of money to almost 3 billion or 6 billion to small businesses, even businesses like doctors' practices, and to maintain their employee. And so definitely everyone appreciate that, and those people who kept their job also appreciate that. And I think, and the second stimulus may even give him little edge for to win the election.
Because it will be very close to the polling, probably very near we are. And now, moving towards India, staying with the reference of America, President Trump has frequently said fake media, and he has monitored media very carefully, has pointed this media is writing this way, etc. In India, in contrast, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was not that open to press. But recently, he has made a comment that Indian media should go global. Talk to me about your response to this suggestion by Prime Minister Modi and in general about his relationship with media.
Well, I mean, Prime Minister Modi has different style of working, or all the Prime Minister of India, not only current Prime Minister, but even previous Prime Minister in the past, none of the Prime Minister was kind of like U.S. President, where they have very regular press conferences. They encourage whether they like it or not. They encourage the journalist to ask the question. Some questions may be very pointed and very uncomfortable. Still, they try to answer that question, and that's the American way. While that's real democracy. But unfortunately, current Prime Minister or previous Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, they never had any regular press conferences and so forth. And therefore, media has no chance to ask them, or media has no chance to put forward a dissenting voice or a different voice. And I think the Indian democracy should change, and then Indian media can be a global. Otherwise, Indian media, if they're going to feed government feeds them, and whatever government feeds them, they speak. that in globally it won't work.
So now, based on what you just said, recently in India, the top news on all news media channels as well as conversations has been related to whether it was suicide or murder of actor Sushant Singh Rajput. And there have been some arrests and there are many steps. But media has played a significant role in having CBI investigated through Supreme Court, and there has been a consistent campaign. But the latest news is that the accused number one, Riya Chakravarti, is also arrested. How do you see this case in terms of the role that media has played in highlighting certain issues about political Bollywood nexus?
I think media played a very good role, and I must kind of congratulate media, particularly two media. One is the Republic TV, and second one is Times Now. They really played a very good role, and now we have seen that there is a big drug cartel in Bollywood, and maybe in other fields too. And because of this investigation for this untimely, uh, um, unusual death of the actor, we found out that there's more than that. There is a widespread drug use in Bollywood as well as in the common public, and easy accessibility of the drug into the common people. And I think a good thing coming out from this thing is that let's, claim this illegal thing, just clean up the drug problem, and that helps to even solve the problem of the Sushant Singh Rajput, to figure it out whether it's a murder or suicide. And we don't know, but it's very questionable, and I'm sure in next few weeks we'll have answer.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Shah, as we say goodbye from today's session of This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, your parting words for our viewers.
Dear friends, thank you for joining us in this week by Dr. Sudhir Parikh. It's a great thing. It's a election time, and also it's a pandemic time still. So be careful. Put your mask when you're in the public. Stay away from the crowd, and you can beat the pandemic. So we'll see you next week again. Thank you. God bless America. God bless India. Thank you.